Good afternoon. It's with great pleasure that I'm here today to welcome you to this fabulous Community Justice International Summit. I don't think I've been to the last 4 years. You've had them for 4 years?
Well, we've had, yeah.
I guess this is my first one. I'm surprised. I don't know how I missed that. But, the current state of our criminal justice system here in Cook County, you may have been reading about it a little bit in the news, is ripe for change. I'm very excited about that change. And for years, individuals with social problems like homelessness, right, addiction, mental illness, trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, they've been arrested and incarcerated. These are my clients for the past 30 years. This arrest, charge, incarcerate, repeat philosophy has unnecessarily burdened the poor, the people of color, black and brown, here in Cook County, and given them criminal records. These criminal records then inhibit my clients getting employment, which leads to desperation and more criminal behavior. But community justice emphasizes learning the root reason for the criminal activity. And that's why we're here today. It rehabilitates my clients. It repairs the harm caused by the offender in the affected community versus punishing my clients in traditional retributive, punitive ways. The focus, as probably many of you know, for community justice is to promote public safety, but also increase the quality of community life. As Judge Martin talked about, we're made up of communities. My clients who have suffered harm and commit crime go back to their communities. And we want my clients to be successful in the community. All of us want that. And I think everyone in the world wants that, and we understand that. So these concepts of community involvement, community treatment are supported, as we know, by both liberals and conservatives. And community justice looks to us, myself, the state's attorney, the judiciary, all the mental health providers, the substance abuse providers, probation officers, the offenders, and the offended community to tailor the results to enhance this community living, to reduce racial and social economic disparities, to reduce criminal victimization, and thus decrease fear in the community. With community justice, the victims of crime become clients of the justice system, not witnesses or complainants. As clients, they have choices, which help them regain a sense of control over their lives. Local communities are empowered to resolve public safety issues, and reparation to the community can be done. The actual individual who has been offended can have their needs addressed and have a greater satisfaction with the court system. The offenders, my clients, can understand the harm they have caused. This is a very new concept for us in the criminal justice system, bringing people together in the community, the victim and the offender, to understand what happened and change the way we think about the criminal justice system and about the results of the behavior that brought them into the justice system. My clients are seen as people with these deficiencies that I talked about, right, that need to be addressed so they can avoid committing crimes in the community. And studies show, and all of you in this room know this, that community justice works. It always has worked, it always will work, and it will work for us here in Cook County and wherever you're from. In Oregon, I was reading this, 80% of the youth in a restorative justice program did not reoffend in the first year. The percentage of reoffenders was 58% for those in the traditional court process. So that's a big difference. Like I said before, we can make great change. As the public defender here in Cook County, my executive team and I have decided that problem-solving courts, we like to call them specialty or therapeutic courts, are a priority of mine. And since I became public defender, I have stated that very vocally. I became involved in these community courts in early 2000s when I was a supervisor, and I didn't know anything about mental health court or drug court or anything. I was just sort of thrown as a supervisor. And of course, I started to drink the Kool-Aid immediately, right? I saw my clients change. I saw how they were treated in these courts. I saw them change from repeatedly offending to now getting on with their life, getting a bank account, coming to court, not being high, not reoffending, getting back with their families. We saw a huge change. And Ms. Alvarez's office, who I know many of the partners and people that work in her office in these specialty courts, have statistics that are just outstanding. They're really unbelievable how many people do not reoffend when they are involved in a community court, community justice, or a problem-solving court. So the focus on treatment, rehabilitation, not punishment, works. And here in Cook County, the judge, like I said, the prosecutor, defense counsel, probation, mental health, substance abuse counselor, we all work together to treat the underlying problem. So now the community court, though, is going to be a little different, right? We're going to go back into the community now. We're not going to be in a courthouse. We're going to go into the community where the clients need to be served, and we're going to have the services in the community right there so they can be treated. So maybe they don't have to get a felony conviction. Maybe they can get a job afterwards. Maybe they can get some housing or a school loan. So it's all working together, and all of us working together. You already know what a drug court is. I don't have to explain that to you. In a veterans court. But I wanted to, mental health courts, right? Those are the ones I started with. I think about 2 days ago when the city of Chicago said that they were going to pay Philip Coleman's family $4.9 million because he was killed in the custody of the police. So I think about that case, a 38-year-old graduate of the University of Chicago whose family called the police and said, please take him to a hospital. He's bipolar, he needs help. And instead, he ended up dead. And I think, what if he had a community court to go to that day? What if there was a place where his parents didn't have to call the police? What if the police had the resources they need to bring Philip Coleman to a place where he could have gotten treatment immediately? Because his parents, as we all know who deal with these families, they are reaching out to us to help them. These families are reaching out for us to help these clients. I am reaching out for all of you to help my clients. So he'd be standing here today and probably talking instead of me. But they work, and we're making a lot of progress. They provide, as I've already said, valuable life outcomes for my clients. Anita's office shows that 66% to 90% successful completion rate for those involved in her diversion courts that she has set up and all of our problem-solving courts here in Cook County. These are a shining light in the criminal justice system, and they serve as proof that changes can be made for the better. I'd like many more of these courts. I'd like more of my clients in treatment, not arrested, not conviction, not incarceration. I'm hopeful that given the success rate of the courts across the country, we see what all of you are doing, that the judiciary, state's attorney, and myself will continue to expand these programs. They don't infringe on public safety. We all know that. In fact, public safety is enhanced tremendously by reducing the clients who have to go to jail or spend time in jail and then try to get outside and make a life for themselves. I'm hopeful that we can further this expansion from community justice programs to the adult offenders by diverting their cases away from the court system and to these community courts that we're going to talk about the next few days. This holistic approach is something new, but I want to do it, and I'm going to do it in my office. And additionally, my clients will have more access, I believe, to education, health care, which is very important for my clients, and housing. Together, we can work to change the public's attitude toward those who have interacted with the criminal justice system. Welcome to Chicago, and have a great summer. Thank you.